why I'm doing this project, because whenever we are moving to Spring Boot application, so we can create only REST APIs. Okay, in creating REST APIs, we don't have any user interface. In that case, first we have to practice the projects using Spring MVC. So for that, I will show one small demo where uh, how, how to create a MVC application. Let us have a overview about it. So now this is my login page. I have to log in with the details. Okay, I'll be providing some details here. Login. Okay, we are getting as invalid credentials. Let me look over the once again. Okay, owner. Okay, right. So there is no such credentials with Chaitra. I'll be providing. So whenever we provide wrong password, wrong details, we'll get invalid credentials. Now we'll be providing actual details. Now I'll log in. So now you can see, as soon as I log in, I will get 3 features. Now have to click on so first, whenever I click on worker, so owner is the person who creates workers. Okay, he will be hiring the workers in his hotel. Okay, he will be hiring the worker in his hotel. Okay, so he can create the workers. Like I will be creating one worker named Ritesh. Ritesh gmail.com. Ritesh. So now I'll click on submit. This is the ID of the owner. Okay, this is the owner ID. I'll click on submit. Okay, done. Now I'll click on back to home. So I'll get back to this page. So in the same way, I can create the product as well as I can view the products. So owner is able to create the worker, owner is able to create the product also. So here we have to provide all the food details. Now I'll be writing pasta, uh, smooth and cheesy description. So now I'll provide the price as 45. Now I'll prefer it as veg. So this is the owner ID who is creating this item. Submit. So pasta is saved, back to home. Now we are able to see the products. So now you can see all the products is present, and at the same time we can edit it or delete it. This is one of the portal, and we have one more portal, that is a worker portal. So worker will be logging from his account. Now worker is able to create orders as well as he can see the orders as well. Now he'll be creating order. So the customer will come to the worker and he will be asking for the items. These items will be displayed to the customer. Now whenever customer asks for burger, so the worker will be clicking on add button of the burger and how many items. So customer will reply he requires 2 items and he will be clicking on submit. Then next the customer will be asking for another product, another item, food item. So I'll be selecting that also. I'll be asking for quantity as to submit, and that's all. The customer is who wants to end the food items. Okay, so now worker will be clicking on cart, and it will be displaying all the items which are selected by the customer. Okay, the items which are selected by the customer is displayed here, and then click on next. Worker will be clicking on next, and he need to provide, the customer need to provide the details, so that these customer details will be saved in database. So we'll write the customer name something, Gayatri, and mobile number as number, random number, and click on submit. And you can see is the order taken by the worker Chaitra, and the customer is Gayatri. Order date, the date of the order today is the 19th. Okay, and at what time they ordered. Okay, 19. Okay, and how many items, two quantity. Okay, and total items is displayed here. Total bill is 130. Okay, and then if confirm order, so order will be saved, and then back to home it will be coming from first as usual. So in this way, to create these kind of project, first we have to set up database. What is this database means? We have to know, okay, how to set up the database connections. Why? Because here there will be connections between, okay, owner data, worker data, as well as product data. So for that we need to set up database details first. So for that we need to create first Hibernate. Okay, to understand the part, okay, first we have to understand these type of connections. Okay, means we have relationships. We have to use Hibernate relationships here. Here is the first part of the relationship, and here one entity is owner, another entity is food product, as well as worker. So our first step is to create owner as well as food product. So for that we have to create a Hibernate application. I am going to create a Hibernate application. So Maven project, Maven project. So I'll be creating a simple Maven project. So I'll skip archetype selection. So we'll name it as com dot uh, mapping hotel application. So I'll be creating, the application is being created. In the bottom you can see. So here, so in this we have to add the required dependencies. What are the dependencies? So in the form.xml we have to add two important dependencies. Those are MySQL and Hibernate. Those two dependencies we have to add. One is Hibernate, as well as another one is MySQL. So select 5.6.11 you select. So just click on this, it will be copied, and then paste in this place. And one more dependency is MySQL dependency we have to add. MySQL dependency. Yes. Okay, here we have two better we'll go for this. Okay, and we will be selecting 8.0. So this, and if you see it properly here, so here we are getting some kind of issue. Why? Because there is important tags are missing. Those are dependencies tags. So here we have to add dependency tags, dependencies. Okay, and you just need to copy this, cut it and paste it here. And save the form.xml. So you always have to add dependencies between dependencies tags in form.xml. So your first step, what is your first step? First step is to create owner DTO and food product DTO. Between them you have to make a relationship. So your first step is to create owner DTO. Select src main java class. So we'll name it as com.hotel.dto. So we'll name it as owner. So till wait by I'll do. So here we'll be representing as entity annotation. Entity, and here we'll be naming it as @id, and here you already know this @id is used to generate the primary key for the provided column, generates the primary key. Okay, private int id. So I don't want to add each and every time numbers. So in that case I want to auto generate. To auto generate the values, we have some annotations, that is generated value, and here we have to mention strategy type, strategy generation type dot identity we use for MySQL. And here for every owner there will be private email. Just email is enough, we don't require any name specially. Email and password, string password. Done, that's it. And here we want relationship with, okay. So our first relationship is owner and food product. Means whenever owner establishes the hotel, he looks for what are the products in the hotel. So he'll be creating relationship between owner as well as food products. Now we have to create one more entity, that is food product. The relation between these two entities is one-to-many. So we'll be creating one-to-many relationship @one-to-many. Private food product. Sorry, we are using one-to-many, so for that we use list of food product, and we'll name it as products. So what is our task? We have to create a food product class. Create a class food product. So food product class is created. and we'll name it as @entity. And here, as usual, for every table primary key is required, @id, and we have to create column id. So here we have to require auto generation of values, generation value, strategy generation type dot identity. So here a private string, food name we have to provide, food name, private string description of the food, about what type of it is, food, how it is. Next, a double cost of the food. Okay, next, after cost, what is the next thing, which type of food it is. So food type will be mentioned as string, food type. What else it is there, food type, and okay, right. These are the things we have to present inside the food product table. So when it comes to owner, here we are representing it as one too many. So when we represent in this format, okay, when we represent in this format and we are not providing any information regarding owner here, it creates 3 tables. Now I want to end up with these only 2 tables. So in that case, what I will use mapped by. So how to use mapped by? So in that case, you have to mention inverse relationship, that is @many to 1. We use many to 1 private owner. So whenever we mention this, and we have to use mapped by. I have to use mapped by here. Mapped by, and here we have to provide with what is the name of the entity that you are mapping. So here inside the food product class, you are naming it as owner. Copy this. Copy this variable. Copy this variable. Copy and paste it here. Okay. So like these kind of relation it is. Now you see this is the first part where we are connecting owner to the food product. So this is the owner, and whenever we use mapped by, okay, so it creates only 2 tables. And here inside the food product, because of these many to 1 relation which is presented inside the food product, it is generating the foreign key column inside the food product table. So in this way we are defining those 2 things, and whenever we use this @generated value, it will be generating the values by the Hibernate. We are not providing any IDs externally. So that is what we have done here. So let us save this class. Saved. Right, now we have to generate getters and setters. Alt S, generate. So in the owner class, generate. So all the getters and setters are generated for the owner class. Okay. Now all the getters and setters are generated for the owner class, and at the same time all the getters and setters are generated for this food product class also. So our work is done. So whenever you are going to create MVC project for the first time, always first you have to set up a backend connections first. First you have to learn backend connection, then you have to go for MVC. So don't go for directly for MVC if you are doing it for first time. Next, after this first part, this first step is done in the project. Our second step is to connect owner to the worker. Our second step is to connect the owner to the worker. So before that, let us check how to set up owner and food product. So I will be creating DAO class. So I will be creating a DAO class for this objects. So I will be creating a DAO package. Owner DAO IMPL. Owner DAO IMPL is created. So as usual in DAO class we write only database related code. We require entity manager factory. Entity manager factory. So instead of creating entity manager factory every time, we'll create a separate class, that is factory class. Okay, means I can use it for every class instead of creating every time. So I'll be creating a class that is factory. So in this I will generate entity manager factory. So how I'll generate public entity manager get entity manager. So here entity manager factory entity manager factory emf equals to persistence dot create entity manager factory and here we type return emf dot create entity manager. So whenever we call this method, it gives entity manager object. So I want to make it as static so that I can call with the help of this class name. So our class method is done. So here we have to provide the persistence unit name. So for that we have to set up meta NF folder. So you can copy from the previous project also. Just copy meta NF and paste here. Now you can see here meta NF is pasted. Persistence.xml, let us keep it as food, and here we'll name it as hotel Hibernate. Database name is hotel Hibernate. So we'll create one database, that is hotel Hibernate. hotel hibernate hotel hibernate. Finish. So close this, and here you can see database is created. Let's go back to the Eclipse. And whatever the persistence unit name you have provided here inside XML file, you have to provide it here as a string value. Save the class and close the class. So here entity manager equals to factory dot get entity manager, entity transaction equals to entity manager dot get transaction. So now we are creating and save method. String save owner, here owner object owner. So we have to maintain the transaction dot begin, entity manager dot persist, entity transaction dot commit, return data is saved. Now we'll create one more method. Sorry, don't need to create any method here. So now let us create a save method for save product also. Save product. Not every time we'll do like this. Why? Because it's a waste of time. Actually, it's food product. Same, copy and paste. Change. Save the class. Next, after setup of database related code, next create the controller package. com dot hotel dot controller. So I will name it as owner controller, which requires main method. So as usual, first our owner object should be created. Owner equals to new of owner. Owner dot set. We don't need to set any IDs here. I'm telling you right now itself. Shank @gmail.com. Owner dot set password. You can set any password. King 99 Chavish. Now I will create one more object, that is food product object. Food product product. Name it as product. We'll name it as product 1. So one owner can create a number of products. So first we'll set this owner first. First we'll save this owner first. So for that I am creating owner DAO dot owner DAO DAO equals to new of owner DAO DAO dot save owner. So I am sending the owner object first. So now let us see. So you can see insert into this. So actually it will return the value, but I did not use any SOPLN. That is the reason I did not get the output. But these data is saved inside the database. Let us check inside the database. Now here you can see owner is saved. Now our next task is to save the product. So we no longer need the owner. We need to set up the products now. How to set up the products? First create food product 1, new food product 1 dot set food name. So I'll name it as pizza product 1 dot set hot and spicy. Description: product 1 dot set cost 70. Product 1 dot set food type veg. So now I'll be creating one more product. Food product 2 equals to new of food product 2 dot set food name. This is a food name, so I'll name it as burger. Product 2 dot set description: cheesy and spicy. Next, product 2 dot set cost is 50. Product 2 dot set food type veg. So we have created 2 food products and we have to collect them using collection object. Array list of food products equals to new of array list. Now we are collecting those products. Add food product 1 products dot add of product 2. Okay, but we don't need to get this setting. Sorry, a mistake I've done. Why? Because we used mapped by, right? So we don't need to do this thing. Okay, no need of collection object. What we have to do is we have to set owner object to the every product. Okay, so here what we have to do, product one dot set owner. So we are setting this owner which contains these details, and for product second product also we have to set product 2 dot set owner. So for second product also we have set the owner. Now we have to save this to product 1 product 2 DAO dot save product 2 product. So now we'll run this class. So now I did not set any IDs here, so here something gone wrong. So it is telling unsaved. Okay, owner is unsaved, it is saying. Okay, so here what we have done, the mistake is I have to get the owner object first. Actually owner saved already. Okay, better what we'll do, this owner doesn't contain any ID, right? So what we have to do, owner dot set. Okay, you will not understand this way, so what I will do, I'll be removing this actually. So what I will do, so I'll be creating one more method to get the owner object here. Public owner get owner. So I am creating a method which gives me owner object inside DAO class. Return entity manager dot find. So here owner dot class. So here I will be mentioning as ID. So now what I will do, whenever I call this method, it gives me owner object. I have written inside the DAO class actually. So now I'll go to the controller class and here will be good, get the owner object first. Owner equals to, okay, so I have to create this here only. Now you can understand the owner. Now I am trying to get the owner object. DAO dot get owner. So here with ID number 1. So now if we run this, we don't get any problem. So the products will be saved inside the database. Now you can see those products are saved inside the database. So now let us go and check inside the database. Here there is no details regarding any food product. Now if I open the food product table, you can see all the data which is present inside the Hibernate food product table. And here you see 2 and 3 is generated. The first value is kept. Okay, and here you can see owner ID is reflected here. Owner ID number is 1. So this is how we'll do the first part. Now the second step is to create the worker, and we have to connect it to owner object. So what we have to do, so for that we have to create one more DTO class, that is worker DTO. So we'll be creating worker DTO class. On the top of this class we'll be mentioning @entity annotation, @id as well as, so here we'll be mentioning @generated value, and to generate the automatic values for the IDs we use strategy, that is generation type dot identity we use, and here we'll be mentioning as private string worker name, private string email, private string password. Only these things we'll be mentioning. And here if you see the relation table, like this is the result mapping diagram. Actually it's a mapping diagram. Here you can see owner has many products. What kind of relationship between owner and food product? One to many relationship. At the same time, between owner and worker there is a one to many relationship, one owner many workers. So we have to represent as inside the owner we have to create one more relation, means here one more constraint. I have to mention one to many with worker, list of workers. So here we mentioned inside the owner table as one to many, and here we have to reduce the number of tables by two, only one only. We require only one table right now. So for that we use mapped by. So here what we have to do, we have to mention inside the worker as many to one to reduce the number of tables. Many to one, private owner. So when we mention, we have to copy this variable as usual. We have done previously. So now I will be pasting here. Now I have to generate getters and setters. Generating getters and setters for the worker class. No need of generating and getters and setters for the owner. So if we mention like this @many to one, so now the relation will be like this. So the relation between owner and worker as one to many. So here you can see mapped by is used in this way. This same name is utilized for the mapped by attribute, and here owner ID is represented inside the worker table. So the first owner is connected to this worker, so in this format. So what we will do, after mentioning this, we have generated getters and setters also, and I will be creating a DAO class. There nothing extra here. Here very simple thing is we provided the worker name, we provided the email, we provided the password. That's it. We provided one constraint, that is owner constraint. That's it. We did not do anything extra here. Just look over this, and here you can see worker name, email, password as well as owner. So hope you are clear. And here the ID, email, password, worker name, owner. The extra thing is only owner name we used, same as it is presented inside the owner table also. So now we'll be creating the DAO class for worker. In order to save the data, worker DAO. Better we can use one single class instead of creating multiple things. So we'll use this same DAO class. The purchase method. Instead of save products, save worker. Worker worker done. Save the class. So we'll be creating one more controller here, that is worker controller. So now we will be creating worker object, worker new of worker dot set worker name. So worker name is Ramu. Worker dot set email ramu3@gmail.com. Worker dot set password ramu33. And now we are using owner DAO IMPL object. DAO equals to new of owner DAO IMPL. So now first we have to set the owner object to the worker. Why? Because owner is having relationship with worker. So as well as we can create one more worker object also in the same way. So I'll just copy these things here as one. Kiran for Kiran. So here we'll name it as owner. First we are getting the owner object. Which owner is creating this? Owner equals to DAO. Sorry, we have to import this owner object. So which owner? DAO dot get owner with ID number 1. So we are setting owner object to the workers. Worker dot set owner worker 1. So to every worker we are setting this owner object. Now we have to save the workers. DAO dot save worker first. DAO dot save worker. So now we'll save the class and run the class so that you can understand a clear idea about this. So worker table is created, right? Worker is also inserted. Now we'll go and check the database and refreshing this, and here you can see worker table. So here you can see Ramu and Kiran is reflected inside the database, who is the owner with ID number 1? Who is the owner that with ID number 1? That is Shashank. Okay, with ID number 1. Ramu and Kiran. Okay, Ramu and Kiran is saved. This is the first part actually we have done. So first part of the project is done. So in the first part, okay, so we'll be having 3 entities. Between those 3 entities, this kind of relationship is there. That is one too many. So owner is having one too many relationship with the food product, as well as owner is having one too many relationship with worker also. In real time also, owner will be at first place. Why? Because owner will be taking decisions. Okay, so how much like how many kind of products should be inside his hotel, how many workers should be present in his hotel, so owner will be deciding. So owner acts as a parent here. So owner is having one too many relationship with food product. Owner is having relationship one too many with worker also here. So our first part is successfully done. Now you can check the DDO classes that are required. So I'll show you. So here you can see owner is having 3 important constraints, that is ID, email, password, and here mapped by means here no other extra columns will be present. That extra column is taken care by the child entity that is food product. So here it is mentioned owner ID means here okay. So this is the first part of the connection. So here it is the first part of the connection. And the second part, so in the second step we'll be connecting owner with the worker. So in the second step, how we will be providing, see here food product is already done. The second part is worker. So worker will be mentioning workers as a constraint, same as is many to one mapped by. Okay, so this is how we connect. So we can add some more data here. Okay, done. So that's it. In the next video we'll see the second part. Okay, the second part is very crucial for the application. Very crucial. Right, let's